Welcome. I am Subhashri Mohanji Acharya and a trustee of Mohanji Foundation UK. On behalf of Mohanji Foundation, I welcome all of you here. And first of all, I would like to thank Amish Tripathi ji so much for giving us this opportunity. This opportunity of having a program here with Mohanji being here in his physical presence and in Nehru Centre, it's not just an ordinary thing. And especially for us when one event was it was finalized just before COVID had to be cancelled. And now after 2 years, we are meeting 2.5 years. So it's really indeed a great event for all of us. And to have Mohanji present with us is really fortunate. So today's event, we will begin with a powerful Shanti mantra. So I would request all of you to please kindly sit with your spine straight. Just relax your body and your eyes closed. Just take a deep breath in and breathe out slowly. Sahana bhavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvisavahai. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May we all be protected. May we all be nourished. May we all work together with great energy. May our intellect be sharpened. May there be no animosity between us. May there be peace within us, in the nature, and within the divine forces. Feel that peace within you, the stability and the alignment. When you are ready, you may gently open your eyes. With this, I would like to now welcome Mr. Amishji. Please, would you like to come up on stage and formally open the event today? Thank you.
I've been director of the Nehru Centre for the last 2.5 years, and there are downsides to this job, of course. Part of it is that I'm a part of the Indian bureaucracy. I don't think I need to explain any further what the downside of that is. But from when I came out here, I also was subjected, as all of us were, to the pandemic. And yes, there was an event planned, and unfortunately it was cancelled, as many things were. But one of the upsides of the job that I have is that I get to meet and learn from great men such as Mohanji. I have to admit, I got to know him because of the Nehru Centre. I've started reading his book, watching his videos, and I've been fascinated. These are difficult times, one doesn't need to say that. One can clearly see that the world is going through a period of change. How we land a decade later is something to be seen. But something that becomes even more clear at times like this is that we need wisdom to help guide us through these difficult times. The wisdom from great gurus such as Mohanji is not to make our world any easier. It's to make us strong enough to manage what the world will throw at us. As Gautam Buddha had said, grief is the fundamental reality of the universe, but how we handle it defines whether we suffer from it or can actually grow from those challenges. And what we need at difficult times like this, what the world needs at difficult times like this, is a friend to the world. And I give to you a friend to the world, Mohanji.
Thank you, Amish, for that wonderful, wonderful introduction. And thank you for having us here at the Nehru Centre. It's a real pleasure, honor. I was here yesterday for a cultural event, which was also fantastic. And I'm delighted to come back again, bringing more of that culture to the people here in the audience. I've taken it? No, it's okay. It's disappeared. I promise I don't have it. Yeah. No problem. So my name is Christopher Greenwood. I have the pleasure, honor, and grace to be side by side with Mohanji, working as his assistant. And for a short time, I'll introduce Mohanji to you. How many here is the first time coming to see Mohanji or listen to Mohanji speak? Wonderful. Okay. In which case, we have a treat. The core of what we do is written here, adding value to the world. This is really what the essence of it is. And as our Honorable Sir said, helping people in these times is one of those aspects. So I'll just ask Shanae, if she'll be kind enough, just to click the right arrow on the laptop behind here. And there's a short video of who Mohanji is. Yeah. The right arrow, it should. And one more click should play the video.
Mohanji.
If we could dim the light.
A human being, a husband, a father, a humanitarian, a guide for many, and for all, a friend you can trust. It all began with a man who was once known as Mohan. In the early 2000s, Mohan was having a successful 22-year career in the logistics and shipping industry. He had everything the material life could give him. Then, on August 23, 2000, fate shook him hard. His precious daughter, Amu, was killed in a tragic road accident. This was a turning point for him. It led him to an intense search for meaning. Years of self-exploration took him to the realm of silence. Beyond the noises of the mind and the material world, what he found was himself. And this is when Mohan became Mohanji. Despite being a chronic introvert, he began holding talks and sharing what he personally discovered through his own experience. Today, this is captured by his simple teaching, be you. Turning pain into a purpose, he founded Amukir in 2003 to serve the needy and deliver food, clothing, shelter, education, and healthcare beyond all man-made barriers. He started Amukir with his own savings, and although he was told it wouldn't last even 1 year, today, after many years, it stands strong and proud. It is active in India and has expanded to many countries in the world under the name of ACT Foundation. To consolidate his teachings, meditations, and practices, the Mohanji Foundation was established. It has its headquarters in Switzerland and has many foundations registered across the world and activities on all continents. Mohanji's vision is to raise the human awareness to the highest values of humanity, kindness, compassion, selflessness, unconditional love, and non-violence. As there are many types of people, Mohanji has also founded various platforms to add value to the world across a wide range of activities. Mohanji's mission is to bring back goodness and righteousness on earth and to shift the humankind to being kind humans. Join us, and let's together bring kindness back.
Okay, that's a short video. Some claps there coming of what we're doing. Adding value to the world, and as the video mentioned, really taking humankind to being kind humans. As we're all different as well, when we go to the next slide, there's many platforms which have been founded by Mohanji for people's different orientations. Each of what you see here, it'll be very small for the people at the back, but we'll just be on this slide just for a few moments. Each logo is an organization. It has its team, it has its mission, it has its vision, it has its objectives, it's active, it's present. And all of this is happening in over 90 countries across the world now. So various activities from helping people with food, clothing, shelter, education and healthcare, to planting fruit trees, right through to the teachings and that core of making us strong and stable through that simple philosophy of be you. What are we truly? Next, just wanted to take a moment to give a flavor about what we're doing in the world. This is people coming together, united with similar hearts to do something good while we're alive. Whilst the heart beats, why don't we use it well and leave this place better for others and generations to come? Our latest initiative, you're probably aware of the displacement and suffering happening in Ukraine. And we've united many of our platforms, our teams, and also external partners under Act for Ukraine. So this is where we're actively supporting that. And on the next slide is a short video about what we're doing there, to give you a flavor of just one of the projects we're doing. No video? Magically disappeared. Okay, there's nothing to click. Apologies for this. I'll rectify this quite quick. What we can do is, if you escape from the presentation, I'll come back and I will, in the folder, we can play it. And then we can come back to this. And then this one back. This one. Okay.
Very good. Nothing short of miracle that we got this house going. This was a dream when we initially started discussing about how we can help support the humanitarian crisis in Ukraine. We are very near to the border. We have a beautiful hub now where tons of food can be safely stored in the warehouse here. We have accommodation for our volunteers.
точно благодарность. В первую очередь, спасибо вам большое, что вы заботитесь о людях.
First of all, she wants to say thank you to everyone that people around the world came to help to stranger in this difficult time.
Great. So this is what we're doing in Ukraine. At this opportunity, I'd like to just ask Vijay, who's our Mohanji Foundation UK president, and also Jay, I think, ACT Foundation president, just at the back. Two of our team members instrumental in that initiative, and many other volunteers here. One more initiative I just wanted to share, which I think outlines our philosophy quite well, which is do something today for the generations to come. And also this year, with the Queen's Jubilee happening, planting fruit trees as an initiative, to share one other of our platforms which we're doing. So this is planting fruit trees. Over 100,000 to date, very successful project. And here's a short video to explain a bit more about what we're doing there.
Whilst our hearts beat, let us come together and do something for the planet. The effects of deforestation in the world are many, and its impact on forest inhabitants is not often talked about. But our forests are running out of food rapidly, leaving species hungry every day. Also, we are often unaware that the fruits we eat today were planted by someone in the past. It is because of their action that we enjoy the fruits of their labour. That is why we are planting fruit-bearing trees, so that all beings, humans, animals, insects, have food in the future for generations to come. Simply put, we believe it's our responsibility to act. People are coming together all over the world to work with embassies, elected officials, local councils and communities to provide food for all species for generations to come, replenish ecosystems and counter deforestation, experience the transformative power of selfless giving. As Mohanji, the founder of this sustenance movement, says, true wealth is what we give to earth, not what we take from it. So let's join hands now and plant fruit trees today for a sweeter tomorrow.
Great. So, thank you. All testament to Mohanji, the inspiration founder for many of these platforms. I could go on much longer. We've got a wealth of projects and activity, but now is the time which you've all come here for. And to begin this section of the evening, I'd like to welcome a very distinguished and honorable man, Mr. Joda, who is a prominent speaker on MATV under the show Thames Speaks, and also a leading figure in the Rajasthani community here in the UK. So please do put your hands together for Mr. Joda, who will be our gracious compere and host for the evening and discussion with Mohanji.
Thank you, Christopher. You're so kind. I'm from the land of Mirabai, and I was just thinking, and then this couplet came to my mind. Mirabai wrote famously, "Ghadi ek nahi aavade tha darshan bin moi. नींद न आवे अन्न न भावे बिरह सतावे मोय जो मैं ऐसो जानती प्रीत करया दुख होय नगर ढिंडोरो पीटती प्रीत न करजे कोय कागा सब तन खाइयो चुन चुन खाइयो मांस इन दो नैनन मत खाइयो इन्हें पिया मिलन की आस." Mirabai wrote this couplet for his Mohan. And fortunately today, in this program today, I got an opportunity to discuss one of the most renowned person, a humanitarian, globally recognized person and spiritual master, Mohanji. So I'm glad to invite Mohanji on the dais, and we all will be enlightened. We all will have more clear mind after today's session. Please, Mohanji, please join us.
stand and speak, it's better. It's easy. Okay. Thank you and welcome to all of you. This is indeed an honor that I could come here and address all of you. From here I cannot see anybody because the light is on my face. I hope you can see me. The reason for us being here together is, I believe, that we are one way or the other related. Otherwise, we don't have to meet. There are so many people in the world whom we have not met. And so many people we will not meet either. Some people we meet and we don't feel anything. We meet and they pass, they move on. Then some people we meet and we always remember, we always connect. We feel we have met even before. So there is a meaning behind every meeting and there is a reason for every parting. So I believe that we have met and this is a sign of our unity. I was supposed to come here in early 2000s, 2020, and it didn't happen because of COVID, but better late than never. So today we are talking, and at this point in time, I do not want to talk too much. The point I would like to say is that there is something for all of us to do in the world, because the world is changing rapidly. In front of our eyes, so many things have happened. What has happened with COVID is that most everybody is sick or not complete. Secondly, the fear factor. I was told that many people stopped attending programs because of fear. That's the hangover of COVID. COVID has left this hangover, the fear factor. That's quite rampant. I mean, it's not a small thing. Already there has been various insecurities in people that really got enhanced. And this I have seen in many countries. Wherever I traveled, a lot of people came to me and they couldn't handle their fears. Fear of death, while knowing fully well death is an inevitability, and fear of unknown, what will happen tomorrow. And then came the war in Ukraine, which of course we are supporting the suffering part of the war. But that's a reality. The Ukraine war is a reality. So many people are affected. So many people are dead. And this is not the end. We do not know where we're going. There could be many displacements, many deaths, much more suffering in the days to come. So we have to do something for the world, at least by raising the awareness to such a level where there should not be any more wars. There should be no displacements. There should be no bloodshed. There's no capturing, conquering, all those things. Because it's time. This is the time. And we have only today to perform. Tomorrow, we don't know. What will happen tomorrow, we don't know. But today, we are alive. Our hearts are beating. We can do something. Tomorrow might be too late. So all these activities which I have started or I have moved was to unite people of similar frequencies to come together. Like World Consciousness Alliance unites entertainers. There are film producers from Hollywood, there are actors, or there are directors. There are people who entertain people, those who can convey the message of unity, togetherness, love, compassion, kindness, non-violence through their works, which reaches people. It's important that every segment speaks about the possibility of living unconditionally, non-violently. It's important. We might be good people, but if we don't express goodness, it's just a theory in our mind. So I decided to bring forth, and many things which, like the fruit tree plantation drive, about 100,000 fruit trees. Why fruit-bearing trees? Because fruit-bearing trees are depleting in the forests. Before I came here, just in May, I was in South Africa. And we were discussing about this particular aspect to the Zulu prince. And he said this is true because there are no food in the forests and animals are coming into the towns, cities. So what can we do? So what we are planning now is to have islands of fruit trees, fruit-bearing trees in the forest. They said they will give us land for doing that. Drip irrigation, and we will have fruit-bearing trees as islands formed in the forest. So the animals get fruits in the forest. They are satisfied, they are settled in there. This is just an example I'm saying. There are so many things we can do while we are alive. This is not something only a group of people need to do. It should be a movement. We should do it collectively and we should do it with determination. One thing we need is determination. And while we are alive, we should give this world a better world to the next generation. This is within us. We can do that. And many times when we bring forth a new thing, it may not be accepted easily. We have seen that. A good idea, a new thought, a thought which can actually make a transformation in the society sometimes took generations to materialize, to manifest. Because when it is launched, probably it is not understood. Sometimes it's launched ahead of time. So, or the strength of it or the reason for it may not be fully understood. So, we should not ever be feeling disheartened. There is nothing called failure. Failure is just another lesson. Nothing called failure. There are no failures in life. If we fall, it's okay. That's part of life, part of existence. But if you don't get up, that's a failure. If we buy the idea that we can be failures, that's a failure. Otherwise, there are no failures. If that is the case, I have failed enough times in this life. Many times I have fallen, many times I have got up. And also, please understand, when you really decide to do something for the world, do not expect that the world will support you. If you are really successful and visible, sometimes the world supports you. Otherwise, the world may not support you. But we need to walk alone. We have that power inside. We can do it, and we must. Now, I was addressing the conscious leaders group in South Africa. Very, very enlightened in the sense like a very switched on team of professionals in business community. And most of them have a particular vision to make a difference in the society, which made me feel good. There is hope in the society. It's not just about profits anymore. COVID has made a difference here. COVID has made us think. Is it about profits? Is it about selfish pleasures? Or is it about contentment? And the answer is contentment, fulfillment. People have started thinking in terms of contentment and fulfillment. What makes you feeling contented? Possessions cannot. Because during COVID time, even the richest couldn't do much. So money could not buy many things during this COVID situation. Social capital index rose, where a person sitting in one corner can make an effect in another corner was more meaningful than a person who had a lot of money but can't use it. World is changing. We must understand this. So in this context, my request is that let's stay united like we started this program with the slogan, Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu. Let us walk together. Let us rise together. It's not following anybody. It's actualizing the individuality, the self-power, the power within, actualizing it, bringing forth the effect of it in the world and making a difference in the world. We can. I'm 100% sure we can. Thank you very much. I'll probably take some questions. Thank you.
This is one of the most beautiful aspects of human life, that we have millions of questions in our mind. And we always try to find out answers of those questions. But I have realized this beauty has created a lot of problems in our life. Because when we have millions of questions, we are basically have a very strong and dark web in our mind. And we do not have clarity. We all human beings, we are always looking for the clarity. And here comes the role of spirituality where we can see things crystal clear. Here, the role of spirituality and dharma comes, which can tell us what is right, what is wrong. And enlightened masters helps us to identify, to develop that clarity in our mind. I read, Mohanji, some of your books. One of the book which suggests us to live in the present moment, wherever we are, and we should live in our original condition, and that's called be you. You have given a new phrase to the world, what exactly the be you means, and how it will be useful to this new young generation, especially in the Western world where we worship materialistic society.
Be you simply means what you are minus your positions, your possessions, and your relations. That's you. That's a you which is always existing in three states: when you're awake, when you're dreaming, and when you're in deep sleep. This you exists. Whatever you are with your possessions, positions, and relations are existing only in waking state. They are existing, but effectively, I'm saying. Effectively only in waking state. So, what you are, that you should be recognized, understood, nurtured, so that you can be powerful citizens of the world. Usually, we do not nurture that. We are always saying, I'm so and so. You're quoting your position, quoting the possessions, or your material wealth, or whatever, or relations. I am so and so's husband or wife. Things like that. They do not have lasting value. But what are you have lasting value. And this is not a choice. This is the truth. Don't think it is a choice, or I can choose to think about me minus all this. It's not a choice. This is the truth. If you really want to know the truth, not the relative truth, then you should connect to yourself minus your attachments.
Thank you. I think it's really difficult sometimes because we always identify ourselves with race, religion, power, money, job, profession, or relations like dad, mom, father, etc. And I think this is how we spend our whole life. Aim of this session is not that I should ask my question. I think in each and every one, those who are present here, they have questions in their mind. And definitely sometimes we really want to ask those questions to the people, those who are having clarity of mind. So I will encourage everyone, if you have a question, please raise your hand. I also work as a teacher, so I know I can easily identify who has got a question, who doesn't have the question. So if you raise your hand, then it will be easy that we can ask the master, and it will help other people also so they can walk on their own journey. My second question is, it's really difficult to live in present moment. And it's also difficult to forget our outer identity. What should we do? Basically, can you just tell us 2-3 steps which can help us to live in the present moment, and we should also forget the outer identity?
The outer identity cannot be forgotten and should not be forgotten, because that's what we are. We identify ourselves, connect ourselves, enjoy the existence because of all this. Because of our position, possessional relations, we are experiencing life on earth. This is okay. I'm not saying any kind of escapism. It's not good. Any kind of denial is not good, because everything amounts to postponement. You'll have to go through that again. So what is important is that being aware that these are all temporary and enjoy it to the maximum. Means experience it while it happens, but at the same time, if that doesn't exist, still you should be perfectly calm and peaceful. What is the advantage of doing that while having a detached connection with everything? See, detachment doesn't mean you run away from anything. Detachment means that nothing binds you. I repeat, nothing owns you. That is detachment. Detachment doesn't mean that you escape from something, some situation, some places. So the method of connecting to this aspect of stability, this gives you stability, is acceptance, self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is the path, and that leads you. Self-acceptance means you're accepting all your weaknesses, all your strengths. Nobody is only strength. I'm not only strength. I have weaknesses, I have strengths. We are all good, bad, and the ugly. Accept it 100%. So what happens when you accept yourself 100%? there is zero conflict with you. When you do not have conflict with you, you have no conflict with the world. Everything that you see today in the world are expressions of somebody, the positive and the negative. The buildings, the great creations, plus the destructions, they all happen in the minds of somebody. So we have to nurture this inside us. We need to nurture this inside us. Self-acceptance is the best way to stabilize ourselves. Second comes self-love. Love yourself. Love yourself doesn't mean being selfish. Loving yourself means connecting to ourselves and appreciating every aspect of our existence. I have a place to sleep. I have food to eat. I am happy. I am contented. I have friends. There are people who love me. There are people who hate me. There are critics. There are supporters. Every aspect we start appreciating. So that will make us stable. Third is self-respect. Self-respect simply means you choose where you should be and where you should not. If you are unwanted somewhere, have self-respect and get out of the place. This amounts to relations. This is applicable also to situations, also to any aspect of life. It's important that we maintain self-respect. This helps self-esteem. So, acceptance is the path. Now, if we are evolving beyond to a level of awareness of consciousness, the path is awareness. That's one of the states which we can achieve in one lifetime, in this lifetime. We can achieve a state of awareness, stabilize in awareness. We see ourselves moving around, working, walking, talking, doing things peacefully, effortlessly through the world. It's nothing to do with how we react to certain emotions, certain situations, or any of those kind of things. We are in every situation. Don't run away. But while we are in each situation, how we are responding. There are two ways. One is reaction. If you are reacting, understand it's the emotion and ego at work. Second is responding. Responding means your intellect is at work. So you can choose what should be the results of your, or the effect of your interactions. And if you continuously react in this world, you will always have regrets and guilt. They are heavy. Regrets and guilt are usually heavy stuff. My advice or my suggestion is not to go in that direction much or too much, so that you can have peaceful existence. So I think I answered both the questions. One is how do we deal with it? We have to deal with every situation. Don't deal with it, be with it. And second part is acceptance is the pathway. Self-acceptance. The moment you accept yourself completely, the entire world accepts you. And we can accept the world as well. If we don't accept ourselves, if we criticize and judge ourselves, it's very difficult to accept the world outside. There is conflict. Then there is conflict. We are all personalities. We are projecting our personality without our knowledge. Whether we like it or not, we are constantly projecting our personality. And what are we seeing in the world outside? Other personalities. But when you become neutral, you don't project a personality, you become like a mirror. So when you meet another person, you're not looking for differences. You will look for unity. That makes more sense in today's life.
Thank you, Mohanji. Any question from audience?
Yes,
please.
How would you define Ahimsa in 20th century?
Thank you. Ahimsa, non-violence have much deeper root, much deeper feeling. 3 levels: thoughts, expressions, actions. In 3 levels, we should express Ahimsa. And I believe in modern times, it should become a lifestyle. Not like an expression, the basis itself, the foundation. Because today, we are on the threat of war each day. Displacement, death, torture, or various things. So, Ahimsa has much more relevance than before. And Ahimsa does not mean like Lord Krishna's principle comes in handy here. Practicality. You got to be practical. If somebody comes to attack you, then you cannot sit down and meditate. He'll chop your head and go. So it has to be, you have to protect yourself. Self-protection is part of Ahimsa here. Because there are various frequencies of people, 8 billion people out there. 8 billion frequencies. We cannot generalize them. They are all unique. We should accept their uniqueness. But the society should remain stable on the platform of Ahimsa, and that, for example, rules and regulations, laws. Second is that our actions and interactions should be rewarded. That's a good method today. Ahimsa, we can make it kind of a law which can be rewarded. A person who is expressing Ahimsa in thoughts, words, expressions can be given tax-free status. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing thoughts. Tax-free status. Very important. Yes. So that it becomes cool to be non-violent. And also it becomes beneficial to be non-violent. So we have, in fact, I had discussed this matter with one of the United Nations people. I said we should have some kind of a reward and recognition scheme for good people. Because today, the goodness factor is not a very ideal thing. You make money somehow and you are good. But that's not the case here. General people, anybody can express their goodness, kindness, righteousness, non-violence, and still be rewarded. So I believe in this time of reasonable unconscious state and insensitivity, what we should promote more is the goodness should be rewarded. So reward people immediately. Oh, what's my benefit? You have benefit, So this is what I feel. Thank you. Yes, doctor. Why don't you come forward? There's a seat here.
Thank you, sir. गुरुजी, हमारा आयुर्वेद की शास्त्र से अनुसार काल धर्म कलि धर्म आज जो चल रहा है, a quarter level of dharma is only present. 3/4 is non-righteousness. So to pierce into this non-righteousness with the dharma and to get the sukha, sukasya moolam dharmaha, dharmasya moolam arthaha, arthasya moolam rajyaha, rajyasya moolam indriyopajayaha, indriyopajayasya moolam vruddhopasevaya. So vruddhopasevaya yenena vijnanam. So ये मैं समझना चाहता हूँ कि वृद्धोपसेवया विज्ञानम संपादितात्मा विज्ञानेन संपादितात्मा संपादितात्मा जितात्मा भवति. सो ये प्रोसेस में हम वृद्धोपसेव को धर्म के अनुसार आज के काल में कैसे हम प्रैक्टिकल में ला सकते हैं?
Thank you. Can you brief in English for the others' sake? Just give the microphone. Give the microphone.
From Ayurveda point of view, as Guruji said,
this is Dr. Joshi, by the way.
Namaste.
Professor of Ayurveda.
Yes, namaste, sir. So be ourselves into myself as thyself. I'm looking at you as a being indifferent to me to the point of 6 qualities from Ayurveda point of view. The comfort and discomfort, likes and dislikes, love and hatredness, to the point of efforts what we put, and to the point of determination, everyone will get into the righteousness of succeeding with the basic instinctive qualities coming from my heart. Because the brains are tricky players. So the brain is like a screen, and what it projects from the heart is seen on the screen. So we don't look at the projector, but we look at the screen what's playing there, and we get into the tricks. So we forget every time and what is right or wrong. And that is what in Ayurveda, the first question itself starts with what is dharma and what is the truth. What is truth in the sense, for example, what makes you comfort, and that I have to find out to live to the optimized longevity with the pleasant comfort and happiness and whatever the health we are going to get. For that we need dharma. So I want to understand what is dharma today in this Kali time, because it's a corrupt time. We are all corrupted by these brains by the Kali influence. And this is Kala, or the time. So we cannot go beyond time, because everyone, we are passing through this time. And we understood for all this criticality and critical times where we are now. So I want this bliss coming out from the Guruji's words about how to follow dharma to get to the roots of our contentment, as he said, that for comfort, and that is what my...
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Dharma has always been same all the eras, all the yugas, whether it is Treta, Dwapara or Kali. But the application has changed now. It's corruption is kind of accepted. See, during Sri Rama's time, like if you take Ravana for example, Ravana's problem was his selfishness, his greed factor. That was a terrible problem. Now today, there is nobody without it. So if there are 8 billion people, 8 billion Ravans. So the whole situation is different in Kali's time, and degeneracy is rapid. When Krishna spoke to Krishna, after Krishna left, the Kali Yuga started. So to Uddhava, he said, don't waste your time on these things, find your source. That's what he told in nutshell to Uddhava. Because Krishna didn't say the same thing to Arjuna. He said, you are a warrior, your job is to fight, to win. So Krishna was a practical, 100% practical guide and avatar. So he knew Kali is coming. And degeneracy will start from where he stopped. So it will be systematic degeneracy. And here today, first of all, if you don't have to go further to know that there is lack of trust, go to the airport and see the security, you will know. Nobody trusts anybody. All people are supposedly problematic. Everybody is looked at as a potential terrorist. So this is exactly where the trust factor has gone down. Secondly, overemphasis on religion, not spirituality. You know, spirituality is your connection with you. Religion is a roadmap. Or religion is used for politics. So this overall, it becomes a nexus. Religion, politics, power, these kind of things, where humanity is lost. So today, dharma, according to me, is humanity. You feel that you are a human being and a refined human being. So because of your existence, there is brightness in the world. So if that can be individually cultivated and delivered, despite what is happening around, our conscience, if it remains unaffected, we are safe. Conscience. So we cannot really do much outside. We can only lead by example. What we are expressing. And if our conscience is intact, all our activities are adhering to the conscience, that's the best we can give to the earth. I don't think there is much different we can do. Plus, coming together. People who are thinking alike, coming together and create islands of goodness and righteousness, where people have still hope. Like, for example, the war situation we cannot change. Ukraine. We went there and we supported whatever we could to the people, and we are supporting. So there is some kind of solace and hope. This is the best we can do, because we can't change the politics. We cannot change the other factors which created wars. So there are so many handicaps, as you rightly said. In the highly adharmic state, to create dharma is impossible. Again, the farming, the torture, the murder of beings, millions of beings in the world, which is affecting the entire earth. The entire earth is affected because of the bad vibrations of species annihilation. Species annihilation is also become natural. People don't care. This global warming is not just affecting humankind, but this is a human world. So what's happening is that what is beneficial for human world, this is what is spoken. Profits are important. Likewise, earlier, the advisors of the kings were rishis, saints. They always advised the king, nobody sleep in your country hungry. Simple. Like everybody has food to eat. Everybody is satisfied. Now, this is one of the things which I wrote to the president of South Africa, that food, shelter, clothing should be the responsibility of government. Otherwise, we cannot discuss peace with the people. So this is one of the aspects. Secondly, another time came, business people started advising the kings. So they will only talk about how much profit you can make from this rule. Now, war machine makers are advising. So how many wars you can create, how much of bloodshed doesn't matter. As long as the arms are sold. Food industry, controlling people through salt and sugar, medicine industry, vaccine industry. All these are using all of us as guinea pigs, in which we do not have too much of choices. All we can do is to be balanced in our life, and through our life, we bring light to the world. Leading by example, that's the only possibility, according to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohanji. I think I can see Rakhi ji, you have a question? Okay.
Yes, Rakhi ji.
Hello, Mohanji. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Absolutely thrilled. Real pleasure meeting you and asking a question once again. 2 years back, I got the privilege to ask a question in a webinar. I don't remember. I don't know whether you remember or not. The question that time I asked was like, how to remain sane and peaceful in this type of world where everybody is fighting for their own existence and their presence and all. So you said very kindly, don't expect anything. You will be sane. And since then, I'm trying to follow your advice, and trust me, it's very difficult. I'm trying. Every time, whenever I'm in such a situation, I tell myself, okay, I should not expect too much from people, or I should avoid thinking that, okay, what is the outcome? What is the fruit of this and all? I do try. Yes, I'm a human being, and then, I eventually fall into the trap again. So thank you for that advice and that kind information. So today's question, I would like to ask, like, everywhere, mental health, as we see all around the world, it's quite a dominating topic, not only for adults, for children as well. So what do you think, and how we can, empower children and adults as well? And there is a sister question just joining to that emotional health is more important or mental health, or are they different, or they are related? If you can explain.
Thank you, Rakhi. Yes. The expectation part, it's not easy to, or not practical to leave off expectations 100%. We do have expectations, that's natural. But be aware you have expectation. And expectation doesn't mean towards other people, it's towards you too. You expect beyond your capacity and you suffer. Or outside, we create artificial enemies and we fight them and we lose and we suffer. Like thinking another person is an enemy and we start fighting them. That's probably our prejudice at work. But expectation is that you allow another person to be that person. They are unique beings. They're fine as they are. And our interaction, you look at only the beauty side of it. Every interaction has a meaning, a reason, a culmination. Some have longevity, some doesn't have longevity. Both are okay. So expectation does not really mean that our expectation towards a situation or a person. It's more our expectation towards ourselves. And we unfortunately pretend a lot and we suffer. We have to be natural. We have been like that as small children. When we were very small, we were natural. As we grew up and became seeming adults, we became unnatural. And we start wearing masks. There's nothing to prove in the world. Even if we prove, people who do not like you will not accept it. So better to be natural. And when you're natural, you're authentic. When you're authentic, you're appreciated. Your authenticity will be appreciated. Maybe not always in your time, but the future generations will appreciate you. All the legends, all the great people whom we have connected or we respect today have been authentic. Why are they great people? They have been authentic. So we have that thing in us for us to be authentic. That's acceptance, right? So instead of expectation, accept your authenticity, accept others' authenticity, we will be having a good life. Right? And the next part? Yeah. So there is no segregation as far as I can understand. And why this is happening is the ownership aspect. The stress is on ownership. Even a trauma of life, we own it. We own many guilts, many regrets, owning it. Owning means we hold it. this is causing all sorts of deficiencies or imbalances. Otherwise, if you follow the path of, okay, accepting each situation, each relation, and many times what I have seen is that the traumatic care, trauma care, etc., people who have gone through abuses and stuff, they reinforce the abuse on them. Through training, through this discussion, they remember all the time, and it goes deeper and deeper in layers. I would say just leave it, take on the next step, move on. So that I have suggested when in many cases, I was addressing a police conference where I said we should have much lesser policemen and much more counselors. You know, if we start counseling a small child from that level, if whatever we understand they go through, we support them, counsel them, how to handle it, how to manage it, and take them further, there will be no criminals in the world. Most of the people who are unstable in the world have been created. Either we denied them their natural expression or we didn't recognize them. So this mental health thing has to start from school days, small children days. Like one teacher was telling me about, this is in Dubai, one teacher was telling me, one child didn't want, small child, like 5-6 years, didn't want to go home. And then there is a parent-teacher meeting, so the father came. So the teacher told him, you know what, this child is showing different behavior, bizarre behavior. What is the problem? So he doesn't have a mother. So this father's sister is in the house. They are looking after the child. They are looking after the child well. But father cannot spend time, he is busy. And this lady is looking after, and the child doesn't feel any love. He doesn't receive any love. So he doesn't want to go home. Now, this child is growing up. Imagine the child becomes an adult. How will he deal with the world? You see? So every state, if we are able to guide a child, guide a person, then we will not have criminals in the world. Most of the people who are unstable have been created because of neglect. Or probably we never looked at them. We never saw them. And that happens. So emotion is one expression. That's actually how it's one of the entertainments of mind, emotions. So emotional stability can come only with maturity. When a person is stable, then you can see all the emotions coming and going, and still there'll be stability. Then our habits, the habits which are created, are all related to emotion. Soap operas, the winning certain things in the games and stuff. Everything is external oriented, zero internal oriented. So on one side, there is no internal stability. We are not connecting to ourselves, feeling ourselves. Everything is connected to external. And we consume external objects and expect internal stability, which is unnatural. That's probably not going to happen. System has to support. System has to support. There are another phenomenon I heard recently when I was speaking to one of the mayors of not this country, another country, that between 30 and 40, there are a lot of men who are on the verge of suicide in that place. That's because jobs lost sometimes, and they are men, so they are supposed to take care of the family, no income. So many different factors happened. And they can't handle it. They can't do anything about it. So they feel helpless and they are on the verge of suicide. So counseling is happening. Why this is all that in that way? Because our success quotient is connected to something external. We are not giving any room for understanding our internal stability. Internal stability is definitely possible through acceptance, through awareness, and also looking for contentment. If a person is fully focused on fulfillment and contentment, accept, what job will he choose? What is natural for him? Effortless for him. That's his right job. Not a job which will fetch him a lot of money, but no contentment. He will choose a job which will make him happy. If that is the case, he will be doing the job even at the time of COVID or lockdown. Because he likes to do it. He loves it. See, we love to do an activity which suits us, which makes us feel good. Otherwise, we'll have excuses not to do it. So these are fundamentals. That's what I'm saying. In our Gurukul system, I was told that 7.3 million Gurukuls were closed during the British rule. In our Gurukul system, we were always empowering the talents of the people. And they were good. Arjuna was a good archer. So he was trained in archery. Isn't it? Bhima was good in something else. He was trained in that. So like that, what you are good in, that was being trained. So that you will never have imbalance. You know, there should be a total, a different mindset, thought process to bring forth that stability in this world. We can. I think we can.
Thank you, Mohanji. I would like to just add one more thing. Rakhi ji she runs a media company and she publishes books for children. And those books are mainly focused on Indian culture and Indian stories, those which are really important for kids. I think you brought a few books. It will be great if you can please come and present those books to Mohanji. In the meantime, those who has got any question, raise your hand, please.
In the yes. Wait.
Great success.
Thank you.
Guruji, the question was in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna talks about three modes of nature: in the mode of goodness, mode of patience, and mode of ignorance. To save ourselves from so many situations in the world that's going on, is it important to be aware of it? For example, just an example, that I suddenly find myself in a place where gambling is taking place. Would it be, should we be prepared for my mind to be able to say to me, this is a place of ignorance or patience, get out of here. Similarly, mode of goodness. If we are aware of these three conditions, would it be very helpful in facing so many challenges that you suddenly find yourselves completely unaware of and they come forward to you?
Definitely, yes, no doubt about it. Being aware always helps us. And most importantly, where do we go or where do we navigate automatically into, which we like to do or which we are connected to? Our orientation plays a major role here. So we connect to somebody or something as per our orientation. Nothing forced is forceful enough, because if you force something, it's temporary. That's why I always tell children should never be forced. Understand the frequency of the child and let it navigate through its own channel, like us. So if a person is oriented to gambling, will get attracted that way. If not, even if it is great or something amazing, they will not feel anything about it. So all of us are driven by our orientation. That's our authenticity. So definitely it is important to say what is the repercussion when you borrow money or when you lose money, how it will impact in your daily life. The idea of it, the whole picture. But still, we have a statutory warning on cigarette packets. Still smokers smoke. So a person who really wants to smoke will do it. Sometimes what happens is the root cause of this emphasis on any addiction or any action is suppression. they might have suppressed in another life, and then it becomes a predominant act in this life. We wouldn't know that what happened in last life, so we don't know. But means we don't really understand the reason for this. But you can see born addicts, I mean people who are addicts and they can't come out of it, and they completely destroy their life. We will be surprised why it's happening. The intensity of suppression is the cause. That in the karmic path, always this is the case. So when you deny or suppress long enough, it manifests as the most predominant, the reason for existence, and that comes forth. So awareness really, really plays a role here. And in every lifetime, there is a God-given opportunity to connect to consciousness. We don't usually take it. We sometimes only, our spirituality quotient sometimes is only on sensations. I did pranayam, I had a great sensation, I had a great feeling, that's about it. But we don't talk about realizing the energy inside which runs the show. Just like the electricity, we are only worried about the manifestation as a light or an air conditioner or a television. Then we say we are happy with the manifestation. But we don't know or we don't consider the lack of electricity unless there's no power. You know, like that, until we die, we do not consider the existence of an energy inside. But with now, a lot of people have identified various methods of connection. So there is a revival going on, you know, but it's nothing external for that matter. See, what has happened is that external God, you have to please externally, but in our temples and our system, this education was very clear. It's all activation. No temple is only for worship. It activates you. It activates all the senses. You know, when you go and you pray, you connect, you close your eyes and connect to the third eye and pray. Everywhere we go, we close our eyes and pray, connecting to the third eye, rejuvenating that aspect of energy inside. Listening to mantras through ears, we rejuvenate the activity or aspect of energy in us. Through smell, through fragrance, you know, through the incense sticks and the vibhutis and sandalwood, we activate the senses. Likewise, through touch, various levels of, like we drink something, eat something, prasad, etc., we activate. So there is a lot of purification, activation, rejuvenation happening in temples. It's not places of worship only. And also, so everything directs to something which is of higher nature. So when you constantly connect to something of higher nature, lower drops off. What drops off is permanent. What suppresses is not permanent. Suppression is postponement. What drops off from your system will not come back because you're done. You don't need it anymore. So this is important that systematically we connect to a higher consciousness and start the things which are of gravitational nature drops off. It elevates us to higher level. That's permanent. That's really permanent, and that's where we should guide people to.
Thank you. I think we all have many questions, but...
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The question I have is, if there was one question we should be asking ourselves every day or every week or every month, what should that question be?
Who are you? Who am I? Because we always say we are the personality, but what is activating the personality? And where is this personality when I'm sleeping? Such questions. So it's self-exploration. You know, sometimes we should think the same electricity that is in light bulb gives a different effect. When it goes to the television, it gives pictures. Goes to washing machine, it washes clothes. It goes to refrigerator, it freezes food. What is this electricity after all? Same question we should ask. When this thing in a human body goes to a tiger's body, behaves differently, goes to a cow's body, behaves differently. In every body, it creates a different effect. What is this thing? So who am I is a good question.
Thank you. As a follow-up, some things I can partially probably answer. That's maybe halfway right, maybe not. But what do you do when you don't have answers? What would you recommend we do? Which is very common.
You know, we don't have to get direct answers all the time, but the track will be right where we are addressing. See, sometimes a question by itself is enough. Answer comes to you at the right time. But when we are expecting an answer, it's usually from the mind level. You know, just a question, answer, satisfaction. That's not enough. Transformation should happen. A right answer should be transformative. You're not the same anymore. So when a question becomes a pain, you really seek an answer. That answer will be transformative. You will not be the same. Question, answer, satisfaction is not the solution here, because we are getting many things from books. I don't think anybody is enlightened because of that. Sometimes, like Rumi story, I like it very much. He went to the guru and asked, tell me what I should do. He said, throw all these books into the water and come back. You know, this thing is that eating a lot of concepts completely blinds you. So what is important is that we start connecting to ourselves and realizing ourselves. And for that, the step is acceptance. Outside, like we spoke to Raki, less expectations. It automatically happens. When we have acceptance of ourselves, when we are connecting to ourselves, when we develop self-love, the expectation level to the outside world will be less, because we are not seeing differences. We see only karmic beings walking and talking. You see yourself in them. So there is nothing to expect too much. We will be moving on with everybody. It's a companionship. It's a collaboration. We'll walk that path. So if you really start connecting to yourself, automatically you will explore yourself better. You will watch yourself with wonder. Then it's a different life. Otherwise, we are looking at ourselves critically because we are comparing with somebody. We never understand ourselves. We should never compare. Another person is another person, and their plus and minus are their problem. We are ourselves. I'm not telling being selfish and greedy, not like that. We need to understand all people are unique and they have the relevance on earth. They have their space, time, relevance. Respect it. So that when you respect yourself, automatically you are respecting the entire world. And we don't need a lot of things from them. We are happy with just a smile or love. Even if that's not there, we will not be unhappy.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think, as I said earlier, there are a lot of questions, but you know, this is a part of this journey. As Hermann Hesse, who was famous German writer, he has written in Siddhartha that it's an individual journey. And I think we all are experiencing different things in our own individual journey. Definitely we have to share what exactly we have experienced. Today, I would like to take pause in this journey at the moment. I would like to invite Subhashriji to conduct the next part of this program. Subhashriji, please. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Jodhaji. Thank you, Mohanji. That question answer session was really so enlightening. We have, unfortunately, not much time left, but we have something really important to be done. And for this part, I would like to invite Mr. Vijay Ramanaidu, who is the president of Mohanji Foundation UK, to share something that important. I don't want to kill the surprise. Vijay bhai, please can you come on the stage? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Subhashri. I would like to introduce Mr. Nitin Mehta and Mr. Ven Bharat, who are from the Indian Vegetarian Society. So Mr. Mehta formed the society in the early 1980s, and they've also formed a Jain animal sanctuary. And they have their headquarters in Croydon, and they have been supporting animal sanctuaries in the UK, in India, and many other countries across the world. Over the past many years, they have donated over £360,000 to support various animal charities all over the world. And they've also developed an award called the Mahaveer Award. And this award has been awarded to people who have been promoting compassion towards animals. And I would like to personally just share a couple of things about Mohanji and why I feel he is very much deserving of this award. So first of all, when you saw the platforms that Christopher Greenwood showed earlier and the various work that Mohanji has founded across the world, the basis of all of these platforms is the value of Ahimsa. So for example, one of those platforms is Act for Hunger. And Act for Hunger basically serves food to the hungry. And the hungry is not just human beings, but animals as well. So beings of the sky, beings of the water, beings of the earth, and beings of the ground. And we serve exclusively vegan food because we feel that is counterproductive to kill an animal to feed another animal, especially when there are other better alternatives available. Last year, we served 500,000 vegan meals to people in over 33 countries. And in addition to that, we gave 250,000 kilos of food to people and animals in the different countries of the world. So that's just one example of the platforms and what Mohanji is doing in the world. In addition to that, he has inspired various businesses and organizations to be created. And I have had the privilege of being involved in one of them. When I was in Kailash in 2014 with Mohanji, he spoke to me about a particular idea that he had. He said that while he was in America, he was going on a journey and trying to find a place to eat. And every place they went, there was just meat-based food. And so it took them a very long time to find a place which served vegetarian, vegan food. And even when they went there, it was very expensive. So he said to me, what is the point of preaching about veganism when there's no options for people to eat healthy, affordable vegan food? So he came up with the idea of creating a chain of fast food, healthy food cafes, which aims to serve healthy, vegan food. And he gave the idea how it should be done, what sort of things we could serve, the mode of service. And after questioning him many, many times, we went back to London, and myself, along with a group of other people, realized this vision that Mohanji had and created Ahimsa, the vegan cafe in London, in Pinner, which has been running nearly 6 years now. And that initiative and that cafe has actually showed that vegan food can be delicious, can be healthy, can be nutritious, and many people have come to the cafe, benefited from the food, really enjoyed it, and realized that you can have a sensible alternatives and healthy alternatives to meat-based products. So these are just a couple of the ways in which Mohanji has basically promoted this compassion towards animals. The name of that cafe, as I said, is Ahimsa, Ahimsa the Vegan Cafe. So I'm sure you will agree that Mohanji is very much deserving of this award. And I would like to ask Mr. Nitin Mehta and Mr. Mahaveer Award to come along and present this award to Mohanji. Would you like to say a few words?
So, good evening, Guruji. You mentioned in the beginning that we are all meeting because there is a connection. We have met before somewhere. And I'll tell you how I came to know about you. There was a fair in some community event. And I was just walking around and I saw this very nice group of very, very friendly, polite people who invited me to test some pakoras. And then I saw the pictures of Guruji, and I started asking questions. And I think Hemant was there. Is Hemant here? No. Yeah. So, and we decided there and then, I said, Guruji deserves to get the Mahaveer Award. As mentioned, we've been running the Vegetarian Society for the last over 35 years. We started when vegetarianism in this country was not very well known. But today, millions of people have become vegetarian and vegan. I've been a vegan for last over 25 years. So is my colleague Vaidya. This is the gift of Ahimsa that we in India have given to the world, and we want to promote this because most of the problems in the world are today about how we are treating the animal kingdom. So it was a great pleasure to be able to, after 2 years of COVID, at last to meet Guruji and be able to present this Mahaveer Award. Lord Mahaveer was the 24th teacher in the Jain tradition, and he was a prince, but he promoted this idea of non-violence to the core. And obviously at the same time, Lord Buddha was there. And these great giants of India spread this message all over the world. And we now have to follow in their footsteps. And Mohanji is going to really, really guide us and bring this message of ancient India to the world again. So it's our great pleasure to be able to present this Mahaveer Award. I'll ask my colleague to read out the wordings on it and then present it. You have to turn it around, wait, and read it first.
Okay, so after great compassion for all living beings, you are a guiding light to the world towards the path of Ahimsa and a plant-based meat-free lifestyle. For this, we salute you. Present you with this award.
Great. Some of the other people who have received this award are Swami Ramdev, Sri Ravi Shankar, many other famous people, but Mohanji really is the person that we are so happy to give this award to because he's so practical and so much to learn from him. And Guruji, we have one book from a Jain spiritual leader. It's called the Atma Siddhi, written by Srimad Raj Chandra. And Mahatma Gandhi was very impressed with this guru and took him as his guide. So that's the book that also you will enjoy reading. And thank you. And just one last small book. This is called India, a Civilization the World Fails to Recognize. As a lot of our people know in this country that in the media, though we have such a rich culture and heritage, in the media we get such a bad treatment. Quite often Hinduism is really talked about very negatively. Very often India is talked very negatively. So I thought I'll put together in a small book so that the children can find it really easy to read, what India has given over the thousands of years and what progress that we are showing today is thanks to the great rishis of India. So that's a book that even Guruji I know will like. And this will be followed by a book called Ancient India's Imprints and Influences on the World. People don't remember now because it's so long ago, but at one time India actually spread with its influence all over Asia, Europe, Middle East, and Africa, and South America. The Indian people had their culture spread all over the world. It's a story that's been forgotten because we became slaves of other countries and our history was completely suppressed. Now we are going to revive it. So Guruji will help us also promote that. I think every child should read that book when it's out. Lastly, we have a special guest here, Guruji, really good friends of ours. They are Christina and Father Simon Nellist. Are they here, Christina? Yeah, super. I can't see, but you are there. So they are from Guruji, the Eastern European Orthodox Church, and they promote animal rights and vegetarianism also like us, and they are very committed. Christina, do you want to just say a few words to Guruji? Yeah. and she's also authored a book on.
Oh God.
Come forward. Come here. Please. She has authored a book on the spiritual basis of Christian faith on non-violence and compassion to animals.
Wow.
Yeah. Simon can also come. Simon. Yeah.
Oh
Come,
my
please.
God,
Yeah.
no, this is fine.
Because they want a picture.
Oh, okay. Picture. Oh dear.
So this is Father Simon.
This is a picture.
Yeah. Thank you. Hi. Thanks for coming.
Nice.
Thanks for coming.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Go on then. I know it's a shock, but you're a lecturer. Very easy for you.
Well, yes, it is a shock. I came out of respect for Nitin because of the work that he does. We are on the Animal Interfaith Alliance, which is a group of 17 different faiths, very, very different faiths. And yet, at the core of each of us, we have this Ahimsa, we have this understanding that all creatures are created from God, whatever that is to each of us. But even in our diversity, we can work together in peace and love, which is surely at the heart of all of our teachings. And so I think that's probably enough to say. I just think it's been a great blessing to be here and listen to you. So thank you, and you do such wonderful work.
Thank you.
There we are. And my husband.
I'm the quiet part. No.
Now, this will be very interesting because Guruji will come to know that there are so many various Christian groups also who promote the same idea now. The Seventh-day Adventists are another group. They're all vegetarians. So this is an idea which is catching up even other faiths also. And together we can work and bring about that good world that we want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can show that different cultures can actually work together. You know, nothing should be between us. So there we are.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you.
You're right, you can't see a thing.
No. Yes. This is Thank you, Guru.
Thank you. Thank you, Nitin ji, and I sincerely appreciate while I accept this award for the sake of all the people who care for life on earth. I wouldn't say just animals. As Vijay said, in Act 4 Hunger, the 4 means beings of the water, beings of the air, space, beings of earth, and human beings. These are the 4 segments that we cover for feeding, Act for Hunger. So that's really made a lot of difference in the world. Actually, Act for Hunger activities, because a major portion of our body has water. When we feed the beings of the water, so much of effect happens in our system. Feed the birds and the beings of the sky, we have a space and air inside. That's helped. Beings of earth, the stray dogs, cats, fruit tree plantation drive is also connected to it. Giving food to the forests or planting fruit bearing trees so that somebody will be benefited. We don't know who, birds, animals, anybody. And then human beings, the sick and the old, children, the helpless of the society. So I this is not just us. So many people are doing it in the world. And I sincerely appreciate all the people who are doing in their own capacities in the world. Now coming to another point, the book which is yet to come out about Bharat and the diversity. One of the major questions which I have experienced in the world is that you are a confused lot. You have millions of gods, 3.3 million gods. So who are you going to worship? How do you connect? So this is the fundamental beauty of the tradition, of the lineage, of the Bharat's structure. One consciousness, which is brighter than 1 million suns. It has 3.3 million manifestations. And each manifestation is a frequency, it's got a structure, it's got a purpose, and it's got a duration and a system to maintain it. They are the deities. This is very clearly defined. One consciousness, which is formless, which cannot be contained by anything, which is completely in all over the universe. The manifested universe and the unmanifested is contained by it. And from that, 3.3 million dimensions, that they are all potentially a deity. And who do you connect to? What matches your frequency? Simple. So we don't connect to all the deities, which is not possible because we cannot be multiple frequencies, too much. We have a variety of frequency within us, but still, we connect to what frequency suits us. So everything is systematic and well defined. So now when Nitinji brings out this book, I'm really curious to see how it is defined, and also I would like this to reach people. I wish you great success. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohanji. And thank you, Mohanji. Thank you, all the guests who have been here. This evening has gone in few moments. We have been here for more than 1.5 hours. We need to close because it's a working day when we have to follow the discipline. How much ever we would like to have heard more. Jodhaji, thank you so much for your interaction. Thank you all of you who asked the questions. Thank you, Nitinji and the Vegetarian Society. Thank you, Vijay. And most of all, thank you, Ameshji and the entire Nehru Centre. We will complete today's session with what we take from here. All of us are unique beings, and we will carry our own teachings from today's session. But most of all, let's take the peace within us, peace for the whole world. So if you all are okay, we can just quickly chant this universal peace shloka. You can stand or sit with just for few seconds, and we will chant this together. With your eyes closed, please. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May all the beings, all the children of Mother Earth remain in eternal peace, joy, and happiness. Thank you, everyone. When you're ready, you may gently open your eyes. And I wish you all a very good evening Thank you once again for coming here, and thank you, Mohanji, once again. Hopefully, we'll meet soon. Thank you.